We are in a new era of Christian hip hop. Love it or hate it, Indie Tribe is here to stay. They'll continue to be making moves. They'll continue making waves. They are the freaking future of CHH. Welcome to CHH Hysteria. I'm your host Cole,
I'm your host, Cooper.
and this is our Upper Hand album review.
This life try to turn me to a savage.
Yeah, bro. So Indie Tribe has gone through like a lot in the past few years. I mean, if you look back, we had RG and we had Jerry Mann on the Tribe for a while. We even had like RG was signed to a record label and No Big Deal was signed to a record label like the same time they were like Indie Tribe, and then it was kind of confusing, at times. And then we had RG and Jerry. They exited, and people were kind of talking about we from the intro of the album, they even talk about it. Like there were people talking, some people talking good stuff, some people talking bad stuff, but a lot of people weren't really sure what was happening with Indie Tribe or where Dilly and Mowgli were gonna take it. Now that they were the only two left, and then kind of out of nowhere, bro. I mean, at least I didn't see it coming. No Big Deal and Mowgli drop a lead single, and we didn't really know what it was, but we saw Indie Tribe was on it, so it got us thinking about Indie Tribe again. Like it was really cool, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere they announced DJ Michael V and John Keith on, and that was like it was getting us so hyped, bro. And then they dropped Holy Smoke. It was going crazy. Everyone was so hyped about Indie Tribe. Indie Tribe was like everything everyone was talking about. It was on everyone's mind. I feel like everyone wanted to talk about it. And then they announced the album. And my favorite part about this is that we didn't have to wait forever. You know what I mean? They had hype, and they just kept building the hype, and they never stopped. There wasn't like any time for us to stop being hyped about it. And then they kept like one thing after another, and then they dropped an album. Like it was crazy. Like the marketing on this thing was so good, and I loved it. And I'm still really hyped about the album. Like I never had a chance to like stop being hyped about what Indie Tribe was doing. You know what I'm saying?
The marketing was really, like you said, really well done. Like you said, they never really gave an opportunity for anyone to stop being hyped about it. They just kind of kept on building and building and
Bro,
building and
it's
building.
like like so many times you have like a roller coaster of hype for albums. Like I love Lecrae, but then like Restoration, it was kind of like a roller coaster for hype. Because like he would drop a song and wait like a few months and then drop another, so you kind of up. But like Indie Tribe was like up, 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 boom, and keep going, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it kept going. So yeah, like they didn't wait. They didn't waste no time. And speaking of like pacing, hype, I feel like the album was really well paced, right? So you have like it starts off really hard hitting with hard hitting hip hop tracks, and then like in the middle of the album, like after Circle of Trust, it kind of like it mellows out a little bit. You have like the more introspective or the more chill songs. I mean, you got hype songs. Like I would consider 24K a little bit more like hype, but like in a different aspect. It wasn't like a hard hitting hip hop song like a lot of the first few songs were. And then then you have the last track After Forever, which is like Dilly hyping the heck up out of everything. And that album, I mean, that song just goes crazy, and it ends on like a super super hip hop way. Like they just went in each one of them on that track. So like I feel like the pacing was done so well on this album, and it's so easy to listen through the album, and that's really important for me personally, is like how well an album is paced. I don't want the order of an album really makes a difference. I'm one of those people that like never click shuffle on an album. I know Cooper does, and I think it's a crime. But like like, I'll always listen to an album in order, and this album is just so easy to listen through in order. You know what I mean? And it's just dope, and I love it.
Yeah, I even found myself like not clicking shuffle. Like you said, I typically a lot of times I end up clicking shuffle on an album.
Imagine clicking
But I
shuffle on
found
an
my
album.
you know but like I found myself always wanting to listen to this album in order because of the way it was assembled. It was carefully, and you can tell that it was carefully hand picked, assembled by all four of them. Um, and it was just really well assembled, like I said. Um, and like I found myself listening through it just like unintentionally, almost like not even really thinking about it, just clicking play and just going. So
And that means
which I
a
don't
lot
really
coming
do.
from him.
Yeah, which I don't really do with too many albums. Like I didn't even do that with like Restoration for a little bit. So and then like just when you said 24 karat, just 24 karat in general, it's just oh,
You
the
mean
song is so
24K?
good. Like
Just in general?
oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
24K. I mean, yeah.
No, I agree. 24K is like my favorite song in the album. I have like a list of pros, and 24K is one. It's
Yeah,
just
same.
24K. Like, it's so good. And I need more John Keith X Mowgli, like, emo type songs. So, wow, that like soothes my soul, bro. Wow, that was such a good track. And I hardly ever have it where like when an album first comes out, like I have a song where I listen to a bunch more than the rest. But like I had at one point, I don't know if it's still, where 24K had double any of my other songs. It was just 24K over and over, bro. It's so good. You can turn that thing up. It's crazy. I love that song. But what were you saying about it?
Like it's just an anthem. Like the hook
Mm-hmm.
alone makes it an anthem, but the verses on top of that. But they everyone on the song absolutely murders. It's John Keith and Mowgli on the hook. It's insane.
No, yeah, I love that song. It's Yeah, me and my wife blare that song so much, and I like it's just oh I can't I'm never gonna be able to stop listening to it. And kind of bouncing off that, I feel like everyone had a pretty even amount of time or like amount of like on the album. You know, I feel like everyone really shined on the album, and it never felt like someone was like left off of it, right? It wasn't like No Big Deal and his friends or whatever. It was like Indie Tribe, you know, like it's them. It's all them. They all have an important part in the album. It's like it's just amazing. Like you see all of them really shine. And one that really stuck out to me was I feel like John Keith like murdered this album. Like not
Yeah.
even like wow, I was not expecting that. Like I love John Keith, but I was not expecting that, bro. Like it was crazy. Every time he came on, my mind was blown. Like he just destroyed this album and they all shined, but like John, man, it wasn't even fair.
John really just slaughtered something and he's had no regrets and left us.
Right, bro, right.
And like before this album, I hadn't really experienced much of John. Like I listened to him a little bit, here and there when he was featured on a
Weak.
song or whatever. But I hadn't really heard his solo stuff. Um, but this really made me want to listen to his solo stuff, and I'm starting to listen through that. So I feel like this is really good for people who haven't heard John Keith. He is growing a lot. Obviously, he's growing a lot, but he's still a mainstay in the community. But he still has some room to grow, and this is really good for him.
Yeah, and boy, I better not ever hear no one say that Mowgli's only a singer now. I mean, he killed the singing though.
Yeah.
Let's talk like his hooks were crazy, like saltwater and outside. Like his voice has
Oh,
improved so much since Sad People Make Dope Music too, and I love it. And he's like really starting to grow. But like his rapping on this project went crazy too. And of course, Dilly always kills it. The lyrics of this album were really good. And I don't have any specific examples, but I feel like it was just like it was crazy. Um, and I also want to talk about another person is DJ Michael V. I feel like a lot of times DJs like when they're in like songs or whatever, sometimes they're a little too much there if that makes sense. Like I love listening to DJ tracks a lot of times. And I love Michael. Um, but like I feel like Michael was there enough, but like not too much, right? And when he was there, like he was hype and he was funny. It was great. Like I feel like Michael really they used I don't want to say used him because it sounds bad, but like they really utilized him in a way that really made the album better rather than just kind of throwing him on like oh we got a DJ he can like there's this like short little interlude you know what I mean, but like
yeah.
he like it felt like what he said was like it like added to the album at least to me. So I'm glad that that's how they did it, you know.
I like what you said about the DJ thing. 'Cause, like, I like because they really did utilize him in a way that actually expanded the album, and wasn't just like, oh yeah, we have a DJ guy, let's throw him on the track, 'cause why the heck not? Or throw him on a couple tracks. Like, he's on, obviously he's only on intros, outros, but the way he, like, what he does to the song actually impacts the song, like makes it whether it be more hype or actually says some things that make sense.
Yeah, I loved it. There's so many good things about this album, but kind of moving into the things that I didn't enjoy as much.
Talk to God when I'm walking outside. What I see with my eyes, and you know it's alright.
I really only have two things. The first thing is that it's kind of short almost. It's like, so you got 11 tracks and 3 of them aren't like musical tracks, they're just like talking. So we only got 8 tracks, and like I'm not gonna complain about 8 indie tribe tracks, but I do wish it was a little bit longer. But the tracks that were there were really really good. So and as well as I feel like there was, I feel like Dilly does this, but there's a lot of like talking on like between, which isn't necessarily a bad thing per se, and I feel like it can add to an album. It's just like when I first saw the track list, I was really hyped about 11 tracks, you know, but then 3 of them ended up being like just talking or whatever, which was kind of disappointing to me personally. But yeah,
Yeah. The thing about it being short, like they do utilize the time really well, and like obviously that was
facts.
amazing.
Yeah,
But it is like I think it's like 28 minutes long, which is pretty short for an album,
hmm,
especially considering the fact it's 11 tracks. But I mean, when you have 3 interludes, I guess it's kind of why. But at least they capitalize on the time. Like they don't just kind of 8
yeah.
tracks goes by like
All
not.
28 minutes is beautiful.
Yeah.
I just want more.
Yeah. So one con that I had different than yours, I think, was I don't know. On my first couple listens, I felt like John did have, like, he had a major role in it, and I was fine with that. It just felt like there wasn't a lot of Mowgli or Dilly. Like, it felt as if John was, I don't know. Maybe this was just me. Maybe I'm just tweaking. I don't know. But it felt like John had every single verse or, like, every single hook. Like, he has a solid, not a solid majority of the time. I think when you actually do the time elapsed, he actually has, like, I think Dilly has more time in total. But John he has such a massive presence in this album, which is both a positive and a con to me, because John's really good and all, but it also kind of can somewhat feel like he's outshining others, even though he really isn't. So I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt, I guess.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree, but I can see that, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, because John goes crazy. That was one of my pros. So it's funny that you put that as a con. I put that as a pro. You trying to quiet John. That's not happening.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Hey, look, pop like pistol. Do you see this clear like crystal?
All right. So Cooper, what is your final score out of 10 for Upper Hand?
I think I would have to give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. All right.
Yeah.
I would also give it a 9 out of 10. There's so many good things about this album. When I first listened, I was like, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. But the more I listen, the more I enjoy it, and the higher it's gotten, bro. So it's just crazy. Keep listening to the album, bro. I really hope they've been making moves. They're not gonna stop making moves. Indie Tribe is always on the move, bro. But no, yeah, I mean they were top. They were like number 2 for I think hip hop on iTunes. They were in the top 10 for Spotify album debuts. So we keep streaming. Hopefully they get charted. It would be crazy. But yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments what you thought about Upper Hand, as well as be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss anything from us. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Until next time.